Welcome to the We Just Up podcast show. My name is Nikki. Tonight's guests are Genesis and Czarmaine of the clothing brand Cultured Generation. So, my first question, and it's kind of random for Czarmaine. Can you tell our listeners how you spell your name?
Hey guys, Nikki, first of all, I want to say thank you for having us. We are honored. We're excited. We love Clubhouse. But to answer your question, I know it's spelled crazy. My parents are Filipino, but my name is Czarmaine, and it's spelled C-Z-A-R. So C as in cat, Z as in zebra, A-R, M as in mom, A-I, N as in Nancy, the letter E. I'm so used to spelling it out, so that just came out naturally. And it's Russian, like Tsar. It's Tsar, but I pronounce it Czarmaine. I know it's insane. And it's Russian, but once again, I'm Filipino, and that's my name.
And it rhymes with champagne, which is the fun part.
It rhymes with champagne, and I'm bubbly like champagne. I always do that.
She is.
And also, fun fact is Tsar is Russian. That means emperor, king. So you know what? King, queen, leader, baby.
I like that. Was there like a particular reason your parents chose that name, or they just liked it, or?
My sister's name is Zarina, and they just loved the Russian, like the history of being queen and king. I guess It's like cheesy, but growing up, it's hard to explain to people, and it was almost embarrassing too. Like I remember naming myself Casey one time. I don't even know why. It was just easier, and it did it. And then people would call me Casey, and I wouldn't look. So it's like, oh, that doesn't work because that's not my name. I was trying to make a whole new identity, and it didn't work. So yeah, Czarmaine is my name, and I'm liking it more and more as I grow up because it's unique.
It is. I think it's really beautiful.
Thank you. It's hard to live with, but you know what? Beauty comes with pain. So
Preach it, girl.
Genesis, tell us more about your name.
Genesis is the beginning. It's the first book of the Bible. So, number one over here only. I'm just kidding. I'm the first girl, the only girl in the family. So probably that's why. But ironically, it has nothing to do with the Bible. My mom actually named me because one of her favorite artists, El Puma, he's a singer. Her daughter's name is Genesis, and she's now an actress. So that's where my name spurred from. And I love anything artistic, like artsy stuff. So I'm like, maybe that kind of influenced me too. It was a sign too. But yeah.
Awesome. I like that. Yeah, that's cool. So, I want to know more about you guys' background. I posted earlier like a bit of information about you, but I kind of want you to give our listeners like a in-depth look at where you guys are coming from. Like, are you originally from California? Like, what's your story?
Yeah, so I am born in Long Beach. I was born in Long Beach, but it was kind of not the safest place at the time. So our family moved to Utah. I lived there for a lot of my life, and then I moved back here to LA, La Mirada. So basically my mom and my dad are from Honduras and El Salvador. And so I have roots over there as well, but I haven't visited there yet. But yeah, LA area.
And as far as me, mine's a little more interesting. I'm from another country. I was born in Lipa City, Philippines. So I came here when I was about 5 years old. I was like, oh my God, America. Like, it was just very hyped up. And so it's so hard to be a little girl growing up in another country and then learning everything all over again in a whole nother country, not just the language, but the culture. So that's where I'm from. I was born and raised in the Philippines, moved to Chicago area, and then my heart was like, you need to move to Los Angeles. Besides the weather, just the vibe in Los Angeles is what, is the main reason I'm here now.
Same.
Like, what was the defining moment that made you come here? Like that was like, this is it. This is my destination.
Well, for me, I checked out some college places here, Saddleback to be exact, and maybe because the Philippines, it doesn't snow in the Philippines. It's all warm weather all year round, just like Los Angeles. So I know it's cheesy, but definitely the weather is one of the biggest reasons. Because in Chicago, when I'm cold, I was less productive, I would say. So that's a huge reason. And then just the hustle of Los Angeles. It's always moving. But it's like not always moving where it's New York fast paced. It's moving, but with a calm pace as well. It's fast and calm at the same time.
There's a bunch of dreamers and hustlers over here, which I love.
Yeah, we can relate. I always say I love Hollywood because I'm crazy, and so I fit right in.
There's every type of person out here in LA, so I love that. For me, I've always been into the arts, like singing, music, and acting, modeling, and all that stuff. So like LA just really drawn me. Like I really love like the city. Like I was in Utah for a lot of my life, which is a lot of farm area and a lot of just it's just so different. So I always had a dream to just like move to LA, and so our family just ended up moving out here for different reasons, but I ended up here. I feel like it was meant to be.
Awesome. So you just mentioned that you have a passion for the arts. That kind of leads me to my next question. Like what do you do like during the day? Do you have a job? Like what keeps you busy outside of your passion project?
Yeah, so I was going to school, but I just finished this semester, and I'm doing caregiving at the moment, which I love doing that. I'm also in the process of going into nursing school soon, and aside from working on CG on Cultured Generation, I have a big passion for music, so I produce and I write music and sing and stuff. So like that's what I do for fun as a hobby, and then that's what pretty much fills up my schedule nowadays.
And for me, so before the pandemic, I was doing like in-field marketing, brand ambassador work with hundreds of known brands such as Google, Interscope, and a lot of like known alcoholic brands, Heineken, Stella. But since the pandemic started, to be honest, I've been staying at home, being safe with my dogs, and educating myself as much as I can while working on Cultured Generation. So yeah, Cultured Generation has been a blessing in disguise for me to keep me occupied.
Yeah, brand ambassador work is also something I did too before the pandemic, which is actually how we met through TMZ, and then also how we met Rob too. What's up, Rob?
Yes, Rob, our supervisor. We met through marketing.
Coolest
We've always been, Genesis and I have always been like entrepreneurs / self-employed. So it all just adds up, and then the right timing came, and we worked on Cultured Generation.
Yeah, it was perfect.
So, the job that you guys met each other at, what was you said that was TMZ?
Yeah, that was TMZ. We were selling tour tickets. We were pretty much hustling. We were on the sales street team, so the marketing for TMZ side. So we kind of always had kind of that hustle within us to communicate with people, talk to people, I guess the marketing side of us we've always had. And, and then just that's how we met Rob too. I mean, we literally just said that, but he was the coolest supervisor. That was shout out.
Pretty much we were so. If you guys are familiar with brand ambassador job, it's pretty much you're the face of the brand that hires you. So we were the face of TMZ Celebrity Tours. And what we do is we educate, we're product specialists. So if you ever come across people that give you free marketing collateral, such as, flyers or free things just to get you interested in a brand, that's what we used to do. Like if you've seen those rock star girls or Red Bull people giving away free things, it was very fun because it was something we were passionate about, which is communicating and socializing with people. And we were getting paid and getting free stuff at the same time. So that's what we used to do before, the pandemic started.
Yes.
So do you feel like that kind of gave you, let me see the word for it. Like, did it kind of make it easier for you? By doing that, do you think it made it easier for you to start your own brand?
1,000,000%. I feel like
Yes.
we always had the skills before we even met each other, um, as far as marketing, but which is a really strong quality you need to have as a business owner, or if you have the funds to hire somebody in marketing. But we always had marketing skills in us, meaning, um, communicating outside of our comfort zone, like coming up to random people to educate them about a certain brand. So it definitely helped us with our own brand because you can't be shy from rejection. And it definitely built us to be like robots when people say no. It's like, okay, it's like 1,000 no's. All you need is that one yes. So.
Yeah, and that's also one thing I learned about brand ambassador work. It's like no's just mean like you're closer to your yes. So that was, starting a business can be a little scary sometimes, but, it did help that I was going into it with my best friend, but also we both really had like that background of sales and like marketing and like breaking the ice. Like we're the ones to break the ice with people. Like we can walk into a room and talk to anybody. And before it was so hard for me to do that, just to break out of my shell. Like I was so shy and nervous to do that, but now it's like I've had like years of experience where I've had to do it. So it's like now it's like, oh, it's not so scary. Like, they're just people. Like, you're just connecting with people, and that's what it is. It doesn't have to be like this huge like mountain to move.
Yeah, and honestly, it helped us. It's like we were networking with so many famous and powerful people, right? And we didn't have our own product to promote to them. We're generating, a lot of money for these big brands when we were like, wait, we're doing that for other brands. Why not do it for us? So when our time came, that's what we did, and we used what we knew from our previous experience to make Cultured Generation what it is right now.
It was training grounds for Cultured Generation is what they were doing the whole time.
Exactly, like the way they did their PowerPoints, the way we have to be punctual, so we use that to, when we have our own photo shoots, it's like easy for us to organize things because we know what has to be checked off.
Okay, so speaking of branding, right? So the name of your brand is Cultured Generation. I kind of want to hear the backstory on what caused you or what motivated you to name it that. Like, what does it mean to you? And, kind of elaborate to us.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Culture Generation, it kind of all stemmed from, like we said before, like we've always been kind of like entrepreneurs, like creating our own businesses. And as last year, like we all kind of went through kind of a tough time with the whole pandemic, and then a lot of protests were spurring up with the Black Lives Matter movement and all these changes, and that's what kind of really inspired us to want to be a part of the change and a part of the movement, and just like our way of contributing to that as well. And we also feel that like this generation is is way more connected than other generations in the past because of social media, and we can all really like inform each other so easily and stay connected and have more empathy with each other. So I feel like this generation is just like so different, and it's just like a lot of us are a part of the change, which is so new. So that's kind of where Culture Generation stemmed from.
Yeah, like, okay, so we were talking about this earlier, and timing is everything. And we were always business people, and when the right timing came, aka we were at home because of the pandemic, we were like, okay, what's our passion? And Genesis and I are two very kind people, so we were like, what do we love the most? And it's showing kindness to people, and then also fashion. So we were like, how can we combine that? And what influenced us at that time, why timing is a huge factor, was, the Black Lives Matter movement. And so we were like, let's spread love by spreading knowledge about, all the cultures. We were trying to flip stereotype. Like, instead of bad stereotypes about cultures, it's good stereotypes. Like, why is that so hard? Why can't we see the good instead of the bad in cultures? Maybe it'll help us stop being so, racist and have hatred for other people if we knew what was good about each other's cultures. So, sorry, that's why we started Cultured Generation. We wanted this, movement of generations from now on to be educated and talk about things that are uncomfortable and to be cultured. So we didn't really know what cultured was as far as the definition, but we knew what it felt and meant to us. So.
And it also was a cherry on top that it just so happened to be our initials as well. Yes. So we thought it was perfect.
Yeah. It's like, when you have an epiphany, you just got to run with it and then explain later, but it worked out. We loved the name and it stuck to us. And yeah, Czarmaine, Siege, and then Generation. So.
Yeah, it does. It sticks out. It's very interesting. It makes me want to ask more questions,
Please do, yeah.
Yeah.
So, with all of that being said, how would you describe the clothes you sell? How does that tie into the clothes that you produce?
Well, a struggle for us is how do we combine fashion and culture together? So we've come to an agreement. Not everything has to be for example, so we had Filipino as one of the cultures we were focusing on, and in order to incorporate the Filipino culture, we put Filipino food on a shirt and a crop top, and that was one of our best sellers. But we also wanted to do streetwear. So then we're looking at all the vendors that we find attractive, and we find that Los Angeles women our age specifically are wearing. So we're literally trying to combine both.
Yeah, we're trying to combine fashion and also this whole, movement of embracing your culture as well. So it's every piece of clothing that we add to a certain collection. Each collection that we have on our page is featuring a culture. And we're going, slowly but surely every month we're adding a new culture. But each item is something that either reminds us of that culture or the name somehow correlates or it has some sort of positive message about that culture. That way, whoever is wearing it can feel confident and beautiful and proud of where they're from. And that's what the energy that we wanted to put out. So that's how we kind of choose our clothing.
And we do have dresses and, things you would find on Pretty Little Things or Fashion Nova on our website because we also want to, once again, incorporate fashion. But we're hoping it could be an icebreaker, oh, I love your dress. And then, oh, thanks, it's from Cultured Generation. And then whatever collection it's from, you can perhaps tell them a fun fact about the culture that the collection is from. For example, oh, did you know, for example, St. Patrick's Day, did you know St. Patrick? There's so many fun facts that you don't even know about specific culture. We just want it to be an icebreaker.
Okay, so basically the process behind your design is just based on a lot of research of different cultures.
It's a lot of research.
It's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So we're educating ourselves, and then whatever we find, we're educating other people. So it's so fun. It's 2 in 1, ourselves and others.
Okay, so what do you guys What do you guys work out of? Is this home based? Do you guys have a studio? What's that like?
Yeah, well, we work from home, so it's kind of perfect timing right now too. It's we're so blessed to be able to work from home. It was by default because we were both working out, and then with the pandemic hitting, we all kind of had to be home. So it just worked out to have a home-based job that was the laptop lifestyle, so you can pretty much work from anywhere. And so we have our Zoom meetings a lot. And then we do meet up as well, at least twice a month, sometimes more. to create content or to go out on the street and just get content or, just explore new spots, So, primarily from home, but we also switch it up.
Yeah, we have to work with what we have. So, but I am going to admit that I am very thankful that I got to move into a bigger place during the pandemic, meaning I use a closet space in my new apartment specifically for Cultured Generation, and to me that's such a huge blessing, because before, we have all this inventory and it's just laying in a corner of my apartment, and now it can actually be in the closet. So even that one closet is a huge change, and we're so thankful for it. And we also rent a lot of peer spaces for our content shoots.
You're such a real one for keeping all the inventory, girl. So I'm thankful for your closet space too.
I'm just blessed. We can use it anytime. Yeah. And Peer Space is a blessing because we can. Peer Space, by the way, for you people who don't know, it's a website. It's like Airbnb where you can rent spaces for events. So we were able to look up, awesome backdrops to use as our event space for photo shoots.
Okay, because I had no idea what Peer Space was. I'm over here like, let me write this down for later.
Girl, it is very affordable. For example, we had one in downtown Los Angeles, and it's like for $150, you can honestly rent out something for 4 to 6 hours, and up to before the pandemic, you could have up to 20 people. But some of them, obviously, just to be COVID friendly, it's up to 6 people at the time right now. But it's an amazing website to have different types of backdrops in office space or creative space in general.
Definitely. It's been a blessing. I love Peer Space.
Okay, well, I'm glad they were able to make that COVID friendly for you. And that kind of brings me to my next question. Like, you guys decided to do this in the middle of a pandemic, which requires you to basically be 6 feet apart from everyone, can't be in, closed spaces with people. So, like, I want to know, what are some challenges that you face starting this business up, and how has COVID affected your process? Like, what's that been like for you guys?
Yeah, the pandemic has been kind of like a blessing and a curse. It's been hard in the way where a lot of places are closed, so that limits the amount of networking we can do, and just the amount of events we can host and photo shoots and all of that. So we've had to keep it very limited for now, but it's okay because we're in the starting phases. So it's like a lot of back end work right now, getting our ideas out, getting our strategies out, and it's more of like, we're on the same page, we're building this, we're building a solid foundation right now, which is like the most important part. So I feel like when the pandemic does, lift, then we will already be a lot more solid in our methods of doing things, and then we'll be ready to go out and meet people and kill it, and and just have cool events, so
yeah, like when we have photo shoots during the pandemic, we have a temperature check, we have multiple masks, we give away sanitizers or giveaways. We have contracts saying, if a photographer is shooting you, don't look at the camera just because you want to see the photos right away, because you don't have a mask on while you're shooting. So you have to be, I feel like, way more than 6 feet for us. That's obviously minimum. What else? We just take a lot of precautions because, first of all, we're a company now. We don't want to get sued. And also for everyone's safety. It's been hard, but we have to do what we have to do to comply with the rules and for, once again, everyone's safety.
So, like, what were some of the challenges you faced just, like, starting the business up in general? Like, when you guys first decided to do this, did you guys run into any issues, or was it all smooth sailing?
I would say, like, making decisions in the beginning was the hardest because we're two different people. We're very alike, but also we're two different people. I would say also, for me, like, because I lost my job at TMZ, funds were limited, so I like to say Cultured Generation is literally our baby that we have to feed with our saved up coins, during this pandemic. So that was a big risk. I don't want to say struggle because I don't think we really struggled compared to what a struggle is as far as like single moms during the pandemic and all that. But we definitely had decisions to make that are difficult, like what direction we want to go with as far as marketing and aesthetics. So those were the challenges we had to face in the beginning.
Yeah, I would say that this is truly a passion project because we self-funded it, and it's something that we're really, truly passionate about and we care about. So it has been the struggle, just being like on the same page and like communicating. I mean, it hasn't been a struggle communicating with her because she's, I'm very close to her. So that's been like the up part about this, where we can communicate freely. But yeah, just getting our ideas down into a solid plan and, just being on the same page with the direction that we want to go with it. But it's been unfolding itself pretty awesomely. So.
And there's a saying, don't mix business with pleasure. So maybe we could say our challenge before was we don't want to lose our friendship if this doesn't work out. But we've learned how to just say it's a conversation with attitude. We're not arguing. We're not mad. I don't know why that stuck to us. It's literally, it stuck to us. Conversation with attitude. I don't even know if that's a thing, but that's what we made it to. It's not an argument. It's just we're talking with an attitude.
Yeah, so communication is like super important with me. So I always stress like communicate what you're feeling, what you're thinking, because to me, like our friendship goes beyond above all of this. So I want to always make sure that we're always like on the same page, and that she feels good with the decision made and I feel good with the decision made, and we meet in the middle and all of that. That's really important to us. So that's what's I think is going to make us last, because we have that type of mentality. And I feel like it just made us closer anyways as friends.
Yeah, like trust, like if you're going into business with someone, I feel like a big challenge is trusting who you're going into business with. And, once again, luckily for us, I have so much trust for Genesis where if she had to hold on to $1 million, I would not blink an eye.
Me too, girl. Me too.
Yes, girl.
We're real people. Real recognize real. That's why I felt like the impulse of just like she's the partner I need to have in this business. So
see, as you can see, Nikki, we're very optimistic people. So I know you want to know what the struggles and challenges are, but we're turning every struggle and challenge into a positive. So I'm just letting you know we do have struggles, but we always flip it around.
It's good that you have such a positive mindset. It's refreshing to see, and it's also helpful to others that might not have a refreshing mindset. It might, brighten their day, because it makes me feel better just listening to you guys talk to each other.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
It's all about perspective.
You're welcome. So I have just maybe one or two more questions, and then I'm gonna open the floor for everyone else to speak. I want to know, is there anyone in this industry, like this fashion industry, that you look up to?
We were honestly we've gone over this a few times, and we're thinking so hard, because we do look up to a lot of people, but haven't found someone who's actually doing kind of like what we're doing, which is also like a good sign maybe. But for me, I would say a lot of people that I admire are on Clubhouse. Like, I'm on Clubhouse a lot. I'm learning so much on Clubhouse. Like, some of these rooms, like, you get to meet and network with so many people, so many like-minded entrepreneurs who are just out there getting it. And it's like people that you don't even hear about, like, you never even knew existed. And it's so inspiring. Like, I'm sure you've had a lot of time on Clubhouse here too, and you know how great it is. But a lot of the people that we look up to are on this app. So I can't really name like a specific person.
We could say, I feel like we were thinking about people involved in culture and fashion, but honestly, anybody who is motivating and kind is who we look up to. For example, Gary Vee. We Genesis and I have such interest with Gary Vee's thinking of just empathy towards everyone. Also, like Sophia Miyakova, she is vegan. I hope to be one day vegan. Genesis, shout out to you for always being vegan. Hey, right away, just know like empathy is anyone who's kind is who we look up to and wants to make a change in the world, to be honest with you. I know it's like broad, but since we can't come up with names on the spot, that's who we look up to. There's so many people.
I've actually been on a lot of the women entrepreneur rooms in here, which I'm like on such a high every time I'm in those rooms because they're so motivating and they're so inspiring, you know, and I feel like we're kind of creating that movement as well too. Like you also, Nikki, I just met you today, Andrea, but I'm sure you're also like doing great things, but yeah, it's just like a new era where women are becoming more independent and thriving and creating their value in the world. Like, what are we giving to the world? And I learned that a lot through Clubhouse. Like, what are you giving and what kind of value are you providing? And I feel like it aligns with what we're doing with this company now. So, yeah, it's been a lot of, I've learned a lot on here too.
Like, I feel like I look up to my specifically local Los Angeles friends because they're doing what they want. Like, you can truly tell they're doing what they want. So I look up to a lot of women who are kind and do what they love and educate people and, you know, donate their time to other people.
True. By doing something they're passionate about. So, yeah, it goes both ways, hand in hand, together.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Let me see. What other questions do I want to know? So I saw you guys are looking for. You told me you were looking for charities to work with.
Yes, we're always looking for credible charities. It's so hard to know exactly, like, you know, which ones are credible or not. So we do a lot of research before we finally decide. But with every collection that we feature for the month, we give back 10% to a charity that also is doing something positive for that culture. And so that's a bulk of our research as well. But yeah, I mean, any charities that you guys know of out there that are doing something good for our cultures, like, let us know, DM us, because we're always willing to look into them as well.
Yeah, I think that's one of our struggles to go back is finding credible, you know, charities. It's like we're trying to do the right thing. As long as Genesis and I know our intentions, we're good, but we also want to get the best, you know, charities out there.
Yeah,
legit.
Make sure that we're actually helping.
The ones we've been donating to, we're comfortable and confident about. So we for the Filipino culture we've had recently and the Black History charity, we're confident with that. And then, you know, for St. Patrick's Day, if you guys know of any St. Patrick's donation, it's like we have to do our own research.
Yeah, just Irish. It's Irish American Heritage Month.
Yes.
We are working on a collection for that too, and we are searching for a good, credible charity for that one as well.
All right.
But for Black History Month, like whatever, for 10%, we gave it to the Black Lives Matter Global Network. I don't know if you're familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the Philippines. For the Philippines, we did one that was more like towards climate change. So we do like extent research, but it was called, it's a youth organization in the Philippines. So we do like external deep research. So we're satisfied with who we're giving our profit to.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, that's beautiful. I really love that you guys are so gung-ho about, you know, like really helping people.
I think we're in this business because of that main reason. Is if you only knew stories of how many times we've helped people, specifically homeless people and people who need help, people who are sad, like and it comes naturally with Genesis and I. That's the best part.
Yeah, natural's best.
Yeah, we don't want it to ever feel like we're using like any sort of any culture for any sort of gain. Like we actually do want to help out in the way that we can. So that's like our small way of like making our footprint on this earth. So we actually want to do it the right way.
So it sounds like you guys have like a lot on your plate. And my final question, and I like to ask this, to a lot of people because it's something that I struggle with. How do you find balance to take care of everything that you want to take care of? As far as your brand and then your personal life and then you're in school. Like how do you find the time?
A planner.
Oh girl. Literally I live through my planner like the Bible. Like I have like my whole month spread out. Like everything that I have to do, I have to write it in my planner, and I have like a to-do list in my planner. Like I have a checklist. I have like my goals. Like it's like the syllabus at school. Like it's like a Bible. Like I have to live by it like religiously, and that's how I don't miss any sort of dates.
And I just love that quote. Like I feel like that quote is how does it go? It goes fail to plan to fail.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
If you don't have like an agenda, then anything goes. But at the same time, it's like I love to plan while having a mindset of anything can happen, and to go with the flow if your plan doesn't fully, go the way you see it. As long as you have a plan, because then you have a structure. Plan equals structure, and you need that for a business and for a good lifestyle. To be honest with you, you got to balance your health, you got to balance your relationship, your family, your mindset. That's a lot, and so you really have to plan it out. And for us, writing it down, vision board and all that really helps with balancing and not being overwhelmed. But we're only humans at the end of the day. Of course, we'll be overwhelmed. But to ease that up, we plan things out with our planners, with communication, calendars, and all that.
Yeah, if I don't write it down, it probably won't happen. So
right?
Gotta write it down.
That's why I have a dry erase marker here. Like, if it's written down, it's more likely to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, but I'm definitely still working on being disciplined. Like, yeah, that's the main struggle is being a night owl. That's my main struggle. So I'm trying to become an early bird because the early bird gets the worm, as they say. So that's what I'm currently working on right now. Just getting my day started early so I can get everything done. Because it is a lot, but,
mm-hmm.
We are only human.
I definitely feel you on that. I went to bed at 9 o'clock, like 9:30 last night.
Nice.
And I was up at 7 this morning, like ready to work out. I'm like, okay, I have energy. I can do stuff today. This sounds like a plan. I think I'm going to do it again tonight just to see how it works.
I love that. Yeah, like when you wake up early and you wake up before everyone, you just feel like the air is just fresher. Like you just feel like, ooh, like, the gloominess of the morning. Like you just feel like today's my day. Like I have so much I'm going to accomplish today. And it's just like it's just so motivating. It's awesome.
I'm going to be brutally honest with you guys. I agree and that lifestyle. But ever since the pandemic started, I need to discipline myself with waking up early. And by that, I mean like 6, 7 a.m. And then, I hope to work out every morning soon. And I need to write this down so it does happen. So thank you guys for reminding me.
We're going to create a vision board very soon, Czarmaine. So don't worry, I'm going to be coming over real soon. We're going to get this thing down.
It's like I want to have empathy towards myself, but not too much where I'm too comfortable. So
yeah.
Okay. I got you, girl. We got each other.
Well, that's all the questions I have for now. I'm going to open up the floor. If anyone has any questions, you can raise your hands, and I'll allow you to speak.
Why don't you have your brother come up, Rob? Let's say hi to us if he's even listening. What's up, Rob?
Hi. Wow, fantastic episode. You girls are killing it. I learned some stuff about you guys, and I used to work with you guys for like a few years. So
I know.
Best supervisor ever.
Same with you on your podcast. Like you got a lot under your belt too. So kudos.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll definitely vouch for you guys as far as the marketing aspect and the hustling, because I watched you guys do it at TMZ for a very long time. And yeah, you girls are hawks. You know, when it was time to get it in and work and get it done, you guys did. And I love relying on you guys. But I have a question. But before I have that question, I just want to say, you guys are an inspiration to me as well as my sis Nikki. I've watched you guys work throughout this pandemic, and establish yourselves, and with your brands and with your clothing lines, and it made me get my shit together too. I'm like, okay, well, they're out here killing it. Everybody's doing it, but me. So I shouldn't let stuff hold me back. And
you're like an award-winning screenwriter, so like you're so humble. Like you've done a lot of amazing stuff too.
Rob, you remember? I mean, I'm sorry, Rob, but do you remember how much I would hype you about you? I'd be like going to parties with you, like, this is the TMZ boss, and then I was like, Rob, you better own it. You own it, boy. Like, it's fun because you've always been an inspiration to us. So thank you.
You did that. I remember we went to some party and there was a bunch of influencers there, and I don't know what you told them. I don't know what you told them. I told them the truth. After you was done talking with them, they all were talking to me. I'm like, what the hell did Czarmaine tell these people? I need to know the lie. Whatever lie she said, I need to be on board with the lie.
That's not a lie. It's just sometimes you have to accept really, like, who you are. I just say it, I word it differently, but I'm not lying. You are who you are. Did you not work for TMZ? Were you not my supervisor? Those were the only things that came out of my mouth.
Period.
I mean, hey, well, it was the truth, and I thank you for that. But so my question is for you ladies is, what's the next line of clothing, or the next drop of clothing? Because I know I got a little shirt from you guys, which I did wear when I was shooting my short film a few weeks ago, and those pictures are going to be on my website soon. But I want to know what's next for you guys, clothing wise. I want to know what's going on with that.
Yeah, we appreciate you for that too, and we can't wait to see the pictures. But the one that's coming up right now is Irish American Heritage Month collection. So we will be featuring clothing correlated to that culture, and that will be actually dropping on Monday at 3 p.m. We also want to highlight Women's History Month, which we will be dropping fun facts on our Instagram here and there for both things. So, but yeah, our current one is Irish month. So, yeah.
Yeah, we have a calendar of cultural, like, appropriate collections for Cultured Generation, which is so exciting because there's so much. Like, we can pretty much never run out of content, which is a blessing for any company. Content is key. So for every month, we're probably going to have one or two different collections until we hire more people to help us, gather up more research information to get more collections. Yeah, but the next one will be, Irish American Heritage Month.
Okay, I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it. I can't wait to see all the success and things you guys have coming up in the future.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you for introducing us to Nikki. Like, I can't believe your sister is as dope as you. Like, what?
Runs in the family.
Yeah.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. I'm honored.
You guys are both awesome.
Thank you.
No, we're not even kidding. Like, we're talking together. Like, wait, they're literally siblings. That is so cool that they're like so creative.
Yeah, you guys are both very creative, and I love it.
And respectful.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, who else has a question for these young ladies?
Or Rob, if you want to ask another one.
Another question? Okay, well, I'll ask one question. I know you guys. I know that. I'm sorry if this is out of order, but I know that you guys, within you two, somebody had to deal with Corona directly between you guys during this whole thing.
Oh my gosh, it was actually, we both have had it already.
Yeah,
but
I had it first.
Yeah, she had it first.
Holy crap.
Go ahead, Charmaine.
Yeah, so
I didn't know you both had. What? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, we're safe now, but obviously, like, she did the shipping when I had Corona and vice versa. But as far as Corona, I had it mid-September, and I still went on Zoom meetings dying. Like, you know what I mean? When you're catching for something. I remember being in my hammock, and I was like, I had Corona, and I can barely speak, but we needed to get this collection out. Like, okay, but you have like 2 fans. Okay, so we can't disappoint those 2 fans. So it's like, that's how much passion can do for you. It can make you work even when you're so freaking sick. I mean, I took care of myself, but I don't know. That's how much Cultured Generation meant to me, that even if I was sick, I would work on it. And Genesis did the same, so.
Yeah, no, trust me. I was telling her, okay, you need to stop. Like, let me handle it. Like, go rest. Go get your body better. But that is how it is. Like, that's how I was, too. Like, we were in the middle of creating a collection as well when I had Corona. I mean, I was quarantined in my room for a full 2 weeks as well. So, I mean, I had my laptop. Like, there's maybe, like, 3 or 4 days where I just couldn't even look at any light at all because it just hurt. But after that, like, I was, like, on a roll. I'm like, this is awesome. I can be super productive with CG now because I literally can't leave my room.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it sucked, though. It did suck, though. But, you know.
Being overachievers is one of the struggles we have, because even when we're sick, it's like we have to convince each other, like, hey, I got this. Like, go rest, you know? But our minds are just constantly going with new ideas and fascinating, like, new things for Cultured Generation. So we can't help but work while we're sick. But it made us be even more COVID friendly during our photo shoots, because we didn't want anybody working with us to go through what we went through, the COVID symptoms, because of Cultured Generation. That is horrible. We would never want that to happen. So when we had our photo shoots, we were very strict. If I had to yell every 10 minutes, saying 6 feet apart and put your mask back on, I did it. I would lose my voice. We would lose our voice. But whatever it took to make everybody, safe during COVID.
And see, you two are the reason why they say, if you really want something, you will get it, no matter what you have in front of you. And that's amazing that, even with Corona, you guys are still working, trying to get your brand going, trying to get it done. And it's perseverance, really. That's some real G stuff that you guys did doing that. CG stuff, rather.
CG? Yeah, but we definitely want to tell people, like, take care of yourself first, though. Like, don't kill yourself over anything. It's not worth it, but,
But we definitely lost our, I couldn't smell, I could not taste anything, but I could see and I could type, so I was working on CG.
We're crazy.
No, you just
loving
dedicated.
this interview. Oh, sorry. But I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, so this whole company is amazing. I love what it means and stands for. But what is your guys' vision for ultimately, like, in the next 5 years? Where do you want to take it?
Well, I definitely would like to see it expand, and we want to be able to touch every culture, in the world. And we really do want it to be part of the movement of change, the change that we're all trying to make right now, as far as, embracing your roots, being proud of where you are from. Like, I want to be part of the change where people are literally, like, they see the beauty in where they are from and where their parents are from, and it's not something to be ashamed of, to be immigrants, and to have the traditions that your family carries. Like, I just want it to be like a bigger thing. I want it to, like, touch people in a way. So
and
where I see it.
Yeah, and obviously I'm going wherever Genesis is going, because that's my partner. But to add on to that, I feel like, so our passion doesn't die ever, because no matter what you do, it's like if you keep doing it, you're gonna. For me, at least, I don't know, because of my ADD, I like doing different things. So eventually, I would love to travel countries and actually, interview the people in the countries from the collection we're about to do. Or can you imagine traveling as a career? Like, that's what I would hope Cultured Generation is. On top of traveling, we're donating. So it's like our hearts are full. We're traveling. We're trying new foods, new vegan food, new food with meat. I'll try crickets if it's someone's culture. I just saw that on Real Housewives, so I was like, but as far as like Cultured Generation, we just, piggyback to what Genesis is saying. We just want to make a change towards stereotypes with cultures and race while traveling and donating. And that's what we see for ourselves in 5 years.
Definitely also doing more interviews with just people who are part of the change as well, influential people. Once the pandemic lifts, like, I would love to actually have like interviews and videos of people, like, for our content, like talking about their culture, just so people can, so it's not just like, so people can really like relate, it's not just words on a paper, words on a shirt, like people can actually relate to someone's story. So hopefully soon, though. Hopefully that can happen soon.
We have so much, like, visions. Like, for example, like, I think we had an interview one time, Genesis, and I was like, I can't wait till we can throw events so that we can have different cultures for this event, like different food. We can share food and different dances, different TikTok dances. We can, like, collab and be in the same room, without panicking about COVID. So we definitely see Cultured Generation events in the future, because when we are hosting photo shoots, people are like, when's the next one? Because it's more than a photo shoot. It's sharing, it's laughing together, it's admiring other people's culture, like, it's questions and communicating. It's like, it's a community of empowering people. Right now it's like women, but we obviously want to expand to unisex. So Rob, thank you for wearing that shirt, because you're probably one of our first male models.
Yes, you rocked it too.
Okay. All right. Well, if no one else has any questions, I definitely want to thank you guys for being on the show. And I want to ask you where our listeners can find you on the World Wide Web. Where can we find you on social media?
Yeah. Well, www.culturedgeneration.com, which, by the way, we didn't hire anybody to do our website. We did our own websites, our own social medias. Like, sorry, back to the struggles. I feel like the starting of building a brand is the struggle we had. But yeah, Cultured with a D at the end, Generation, for TikTok and our website. On Instagram, it's cultured.generation. And, anybody who sends us a message here, Jasmine, anybody, please let us know your address, or the best address for us to send something to you, because we appreciate you guys listening. We would love to send you guys packages if you reach out to us.
Yeah, we'll give you a little care package, especially from us, with love, with the little goodies and something special from Cultured Generation. So feel free to reach out.
Wow, you guys are so sweet. So I'm definitely going to reach out, because I kind of want one of those shirts.
Oh, we were already talking about getting you something, so girl.
Yeah, come on, Nikki. I just need your address.
What's going on, family? Welcome to the We Just
episode
Up
of the We Just Up podcast show.
A podcast
Special
about,
thanks to Collective for this opportunity.
it's a little
For
difficult to
information
describe
on
exactly
us
what it is
and our
we do
featured
here.
guests, please
All I
follow
know
the
is
We
that
Just
all
Up
of my
podcast
creative
show on
friends and I
Instagram
have been
at
affected
We
by this
Just Up
COVID-19
and
pandemic.
Sada Collective at
We
Sada
stress,
Collective. See you next time,
sometimes
family.
depressed, and our sleep schedules really don't exist. So we just up, talking about how Rona has changed our life and how we bounce back.
Last night took a L, but tonight I bounce back. Wake up every morning, by the night I count stacks. Knew that ass was real.